Hey everybody, this is Dave Walsh, host of Card Talk, and we are going to try to get through the Wastes of Eriador in the Angmar Awakened campaign. I've set up for another round here, and let's go over the setup after I draw my opening hand here. I like it, I don't love it, so I'm going to take a mulligan and draw again. It is what it is, but I don't love it. So, okay, I'll go over that in a little bit. But let's look at the quest card here up close and all the setup. Okay, so this is Across the Wastes, the first quest card of the Wastes of Eriador. We are just coming off Dead Man's Dyke, where Yarion has been captured. The last scenario introduced Thardir, who's kind of the big bad guy of the cycle of the campaign. So here we are, setting up for this. So we're going to chase across Eriador. I've actually heard that word Eriador pronounced a different way. I listened to a Tolkien podcast called Tolkien Road, and the host of it pronounces it Eriador. So I don't know. Not sure. So anyways, the setup for this says set pack leader side out of play, make Shrouded Hills the active location. So the Shrouded Hills is an X threat 5 quest point location, and X is the number of quest cards in play, and while there's only one quest card in play, Shrouded Hills gains Surge. So it's good to have the surgy location out of the deck to begin with. Okay, add the time objective to the staging area with Daybreak face up. I was actually nervous when I first played this scenario because the time objective, it reminded me of the Ringmaker cycle, which was all time, and there was so much time, and I felt like it was so heavy-handed because it was like every location, every quest card, like just seemed like so much time, and it was what do I want to say? Frustrating, overdone. But this objective is not that way. It's actually seems pretty reasonable, but each side has a different effect. So Daybreak, you can make progress on the quest cards, but enemies become harder to engage. And so here you can see that enemies don't make engagement checks, but you can still optionally engage an enemy. That's kind of a pain in the neck because you may have multiple enemies in the staging area, so you may want to bring down 2 or 3 enemies and try to kill them, but it just doesn't work out sometimes. When it becomes day, the enemies return to the staging area, and then we flip the objective at the end of the round. So the other side is the Nightfall time objective, and it's night out. Progress can't be placed on quest cards, and counter card effects cannot be canceled. And this is how I screwed up the one, because I was canceling shadow effects. I misread, or I read the wrong ruling. There was a ruling earlier in the game's life where shadow effects were not considered encounter card effects. That ruling was made by Nate French, and then later on, Caleb, a later designer of the game, he ended up overruling that ruling and said that shadow card effects are encounter effects. So I only read the first ruling and not the second. All this to say is that I'm not going to be able to cancel much of anything during Nightfall. I can't use Test of Will or anything like that. Okay, so I'll put this into play. Daybreak side up. And then it says the first player takes control of a Marthiel. We'll look at a Marthiel in a minute. And then shuffle the encounter deck, reveal one card per player. So my reveal is a White Warg. It's a 2/2/3/3, so it has a low engagement cost, but after you engage it, it does damage to you. 1 during day, 2 during night. So it's kind of a pain in the neck. But nonetheless, the whole theme of this this particular scenario is just a lot of wargs coming at you all the time. I'm not even sure if there's anything. I don't think there's any enemies in the encounter deck that aren't wargs. So there's just a lot of wargs coming down. Side 1B of the quest card just gives your heroes +1 willpower during day, and it says when it becomes night, raise each player's threat by 1. And Amarthiel is the objective ally here, and I'm never going to be able to use his response because there's only one player, so I'm not going to be able to toss him from player to player to player as he engages anybody. But Amarthiel's courage, as a boon that I earned, I had a choice, and I picked this one because it has a setup where it goes right onto Amarthiel, and it increases his willpower and the number of hit points. Plus, I'm allowed to ready Amarthiel once per game with Amarthiel's courage, so I think that that's good. I'd rather have the thing that comes out during setup than something I'd have to find in my deck. So that's Amarthiel. Okay, so this is the campaign card. I'm allowed to change my heroes without incurring a +1 threat penalty. I'm not planning on doing that anytime soon during the campaign run. And then each player adds 1 copy of Determination to their starting hand. So there's Determination there on the right. It's an event. It's a 1-cost neutral event that's also a boon. And you attach Determination to a unique character and then ready each character with a copy of Determination just attached, as well as characters who are considered to be determined in the campaign pool. So every scenario in this campaign from here on out, if I put Determination on a character, I'll be able to ready the character that Determination goes on, plus the previous owners of Determination. So by the end of the scenario, by the time I get to the very end of the campaign, I'll be able to maybe ready 4 or 5 characters with just 1 Determination. So I'm pretty happy about that. Okay, and then it says Shuffle Fend Off Despair, side quest into the encounter deck. Now I have played this, like I said, this is my 5th time playing this, so I have seen Fend Off Despair. I'm hoping that I get to keep it. If not, then whatever. So, but I do like the idea of Fend Off Despair. One of the other things that we have to worry about is Arnor Ravaged. And so this has a setup effect where it gets added to the staging area, and it has damage equal to the amount of damage on the side quest side of it. And so we earned 1 damage on this. And it says after an attack damages a character but does not destroy it, move 1 damage from Angmar Ravage to that character. So if something does, 1 damage to Celeborn, I have to take the 1 damage off Arnor Ravaged and put it onto Celeborn. So then, just the 1 time though, because there's only 1 damage. So I'm glad that I kept the amount of damage on this thing low. Okay, so I'll put this back up in the staging area. And the last thing we'll look at is the boon that I earned that's on Thranduil. So this is the boon Cunning. And I picked this one after I panned it originally because I was like, nobody just wants to have the action, +2/+2/+2 till the end of the phase. But I like it because you add 2 resources to the hero's resource pool at the beginning during setup. So having more resources at the beginning is very nice. So I think that's all the things that come into play here, and let's look at what I have in my hand. So on the left, I have a Galadriel's Handmaiden, which is great for questing, and she lowers my threat. So 2 willpower is pretty good, and then with the bonuses that Galadriel and Celeborn give her, I think she's really good. And then the Marksman of Lorien, that 3 attack is great. 2 hit points is great because you're not susceptible to direct damage as much, or losing the marksman because of the direct damage. But it's really that enter play response that you get -2 defense to an enemy, and then with Celeborn you get a +1 attack. So this guy's really doing like the equivalent of 6 damage on when he enters play. And so that's a big deal. So the Marksman is a really good offensive card. And the only way I can play the Marksman, though, is with Thranduil's ability. So I'm hoping I don't cancel out Thranduil's ability with Cold from Angmar. Part of the nuts and bolts of a Sylvan deck are 0-cost events like Island Amid Perils there on the left. And so I just return an ally into my hand, a Sylvan ally, and that reduces my threat by X, where X is the cost of that Sylvan ally. Great threat reduction. So, and then I have an Unexpected Courage in my hand. And then the last 2 cards I have in my hand are 2 copies of the Elven King. And so there's no difference, but I just wanted to show you that I drew 6 cards, and you put it on a Sylvan hero, and you exhaust it, pull a Sylvan back into your hand, and that allows you to ready the attached character. What I'm going to do now is grab my master card because I have the 1 ring. So the master card that I'm going to grab is what I call the Defendy one, or Inner Strength, where it adds a defense to Thranduil, plus it allows me to cancel a shadow effect. I can't do that during nightfall, but I can do that during daybreak, which, anytime I can cancel a shadow effect, life is good. Okay, so we'll zoom back out, we'll get started, and hopefully I can make some progress on the quest this time. Okay, so to set up, I'm going to put my 2 resources on Thranduil, and then I'm going to put resources all around here. Let's see here, just so we remember this track I'm going to use to track my willpower. This track up here I'm going to use to track my the threat in the staging area. Okay, and so right now I just have 2 in the staging area, so that's going to go like this. Let me move this over a little bit. Okay, I have to make 20 progress. I have 29 threat, so let's draw. I get a Host of the Galathrim, which is not the card to grab right now. And then I'm going to use Galadriel's ability. That lowers my threat by 1, and I get to draw a card. And I get another Handmaiden. So I am going to play Inner Strength on Thranduil. And I'm going to play the Elven King onto Thranduil. So at least I can ready a little easier now. Time to quest, I guess. So in the staging area is 2. This has 5. So I'm going to do 2. And that's 4, 6, 8. So I'm going to do 8 with hopes of getting through this location here. Okay, so let's see what we can do. Okay, so Rugged Country. Rugged Country is a 2-threat location. If the current quest is side quest, it gets +2 willpower. So that's 4 here. So I only made 4 progress. Okay. Well, it is what it is. So this guy's going to come out. And I'm going to deal a shadow card. And I'm going to take this, let's see. I deal 1 damage to somebody. So I'm going to deal 1 damage to Amarthiel. Now I don't do Arnor Ravaged because that's not combat damage. Okay, so I'm going to take this undefended right now. And it says, put the topmost Warg enemy from the discard pile into play engaged and deal it a shadow card. Look at that. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, there's no topmost. It whiffs. Okay, so now I'm going to do 2 damage to a hero, and that's going to be Celeborn. Now I'm going to spend 3 resources to bring out the Marksman of Lorien, and I'm going to target this enemy for -2. So he has -2 defense, and he's attacking for 4, so I get to exhaust, and I get to kill the White Warg. This is what I'm saying about how powerful this guy is when he comes into play. So, almost did this. Not quite, but... Okay, so we will ready. Oh, look. And then this guy, because of Arnor Ravaged, I have to put the damage here, because this was combat damage. So... And then I'm going to raise my threat. I'm going to turn this over to daybreak, or to nightfall. And now let's see here. This says when it becomes night. This says when it becomes night, so it doesn't matter which. So I will raise my threat by 1. I guess I mean it doesn't matter which one I do first. And now I'm going to draw a card. And I get a Northern Warg. The Northern Warg has 2 threat. Well, let's take a look at the Northern Warg. Remember, this isn't the staging step of the questing phase. This is at the end of the round. So we're not in questing. So it just says each Warg enemy gets +1 threat until the end of the phase. And so this is a pretty harmless Warg. Okay, so it's the beginning of the turn. So during the resource phase, I will... Let me ready this guy, I guess. Give myself some resources. I'll draw... I get a Neath Guide. Okay, Neath Guide is great because when he comes into play, you don't have to exhaust a hero to quest. Okay, and now I'm going to lower my threat. And draw a card. And I get O Lorien. So let's take a look at O Lorien. So O Lorien goes on a hero. It can go on any hero. It doesn't matter which hero it goes on. It's not restricted. It doesn't even have to be an elf. It can be a Gondor hero or a Hobbit hero. But you exhaust O Lorien to lower the cost of the next Sylvan by 1. But you can't lower it past 1. So that's a great attachment. It's a good resource smoother. Okay, so I'm going to play 1. I'm going to play this onto 300, onto Celeborn for 1. Then I'm going to exhaust this and spend 1 and put the Neath Guide into play. And the Neath Guide is going to target... Let's see. Right now I have 4 in the staging area, and I want to make 1, so that's 5. So I think I'm going to target Celeborn, and that's what I'll do. Okay, with hopes of getting through this. So she doesn't exhaust a quest because of Galadriel, and it gets bonuses because of Celeborn. So this guy is questing for 2, and he's questing for 3. So that's 5. Right now there's 4, and I need to make 1. So now I need to do more. So I think the more that I will do is I will quest with a Marthiol for 7 and hope that I don't do anything crazy here. And I get the Predatory Wolves. So I discard the highest cost ally. Let's look at it. So each player must choose. So because I have a choice, I don't have to do the first one. When it says choose either or, you're free to choose whichever one. I'm going to choose not to discard my ally, but to search and for a warg and add it to the staging area. Okay, so I'm going to choose the white warg. Yeah, it does damage, but I mean, I gotta do something here. So, and I'm trying to kill stuff. So I'll pick the white warg. Okay, so the white warg is in the staging area. So I have 2, 4, 6 in the staging area. That's another reason why I picked it, because I quested for 7 and there's 6 in the staging area. If I picked another northern warg, I would have had to raise my threat and I wouldn't have been able to get through this location. So, okay. So I make 1 progress here. And I've explored the Shrouded Hills. Okay, I'm going to travel to Rugged Country. Now I'm going to do my best to attack and kill some things. I may not be able to, but I'm going to try. Okay, so this thing, when it engages, that's the one that does damage. So it is night, so it does 2 damage. So I'm going to do the damage to Amarthiel, and Amarthiel has an extra hit point because of the courage. So Amarthiel is dangerously close. Okay, so deal shadow cards. I don't actually have to engage this guy, which I think I won't. I'll just engage this guy. Okay. So Thranduil is defending for 4, and this guy's attacking for just 2. So I'm going to see what I do here. Okay, side quest. Side quests are great to see as shadow cards. So, okay, so I need to do 6. So 3, 4, 5, 6. That kills this warg. 7 actually, but that's good enough. Okay, so we will flip to Daybreak. Raise my threat. So I'm at 30 threat. Now I'm going to give myself some resources. I'm going to draw a card. And I get the Greenwood Archer. Let's take a look at him. The Greenwood Archer is really nice because, well, the range keyword doesn't really do much right now for me solo. But there's one thing that hopefully it'll help with, but the response, it's just when it enters play, I'm able to ready somebody. And that's going to be nice because I can like ready Thranduil to get another attack, or I can ready Galadriel in case I get Nenyaner or something like that, to have an extra action from my hero is good. And while we're at it, I'm going to use Galadriel's ability right now, and I'll see what I get. So I drew the card, and I got Ancestral Armor from Galadriel's ability. And this is perfectly designed for Thranduil. Gives him an extra 2 defense and 2 hit points. That's exactly where I want that to go. So I'll have to wait 1 more round to get Ancestral Armor, because I only have 2 leadership resources. I also get to lower my threat by 1. Okay, now I'm going to use a Lorien, and that's going to reduce the cost of this by 1. So that's good. So that allows me to reduce my threat 1 more time. The Handmaiden, that's good. So I have 20 threat. Things are looking good. Hopefully I'll be able to do something with this. So now it's time to quest. So I'm going to quest with 1, 4. Right now there's only 2 in the staging area. I'm hoping to make some progress here. So let's see here. 7. 3, 4, 8. And there's only 2, 3. So I'm gonna just keep it like this. So I would like to see some healing. I would like to see some things come off, but let's see what we get. So we're 8 versus 2. And I get the North Downs. While it is night, North Downs gets +2 threat. Okay, so right now it's just a 1 threat. So I'll increase, so that's 3. So I did, so that's 5 left, so I can put 3 there and 2 onto the quest. So this guy's explored. Okay, and I will travel to the North Downs. No travel effect, so that's good. And then I will play with the Northern Warg. Okay. So the Northern Warg is attacking for 3. Okay, I will defend with Thranduil. And keep in mind, I can cancel the shadow effects. It is Daybreak, so I can cancel the shadow. So there is no shadow. So 3 defends for 4, no damage. Life is good. Okay, and now I have to attack back. So I can do 3, 6, and kill this guy. Okay, clear staging area. I have an active location. I made a little progress. Life is good. So at the end of the round, I will flip it to Nightfall. And I will raise my threat by 1, but then by 2, by another 1, because of the quest card effect, and I have to reveal an encounter card. And it's Biting Wind. I won't even show it to you. This is a questing effect, so I'm not even going to show it to you unless it comes into play later on during questing. Get some resources and draw a card. So I get another Nath Guide, so that's good. Okay, but I am going to play the Ancestral Armor onto Thranduil for 4. And then I'm going to reduce, I'm going to play the other Handmaiden that I have in my hand, and that's going to reduce my threat by 1. I guess I'm going to exhaust Galadriel, reduce my threat by another 1, and draw a card. And I get the Power of Command, which is the questy master card. Increases his questing, and then I can increase the questing of all my other unique characters. Okay, so now it's time to quest. So 3, 5, 6. I guess I'll quest for 6. There's a 0 in the staging area. This leaves me things to attack and defend with, and maybe I'll be able to get lucky and get through the North Downs. And I get a Northern Warg. The Northern Warg has 3, because it adds 1 threat to each Warg until the end of the phase. Okay, so 3, I only did 6, so I put 3 progress on the current location. Okay, well, I will engage this guy. I will deal it a shadow card. Now I can't I can't cancel this shadow card if it's bad, but I will defend with Thranduil. No shadow effect. Great. No damage to Thranduil. We do 3, 6. This guy dies. Okay. So, end of round, we will refresh. We will flip this over. Raise our threat. And then draw a card. And what do we get? Hey! Nenya. So, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I think I'm going to play Nenya. For 1, 1 to use. So I'm going to use that 1. And then I think I'm going to exhaust Olorien to put this second Nath Guide into play. So she only costs 1. And I'm going to target... I think I'm going to target Thranduil with that. And I'm going to spend this other 1 to put the power of command onto Thranduil. So that gives him a bonus willpower. Okay. Thranduil ends up being a beast here. So Thranduil right now is questing for 3 during this phase, and he's not exhausting to quest. Okay. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 for Thranduil, and then another 4 for Celeborn. That's 14 because I get +1 willpower to all my heroes. Let's see what we get. I get Rugged Country. Okay, so just a 2 threat location. So that's 2. So I make 12. So that's 11. So there's 11 left. So that's 5, 10, 11. So that's 13 progress I've made on the quest so far. So I've explored this. I will travel here. I don't have anything to do in this phase. So I will ready. Now I'll raise my threat by 1. And another 1 because it's going to go to Nightfall. Okay, and now we have to do a encounter card. And it's Cold from Angmar. Cold from Angmar says deal 1 damage to a hero I control, and then so I guess I will deal the 1 damage to Thranduil. And then each damaged character text box is blank. Cold from Angmar is like the worst treachery in the game. Well, it's not the worst, but it's one of the worst. So now I will give myself some resources. I'll draw a card. And I get Feigned Voices. That's phenomenal. And the only thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use Galadriel to draw a card and lower my threat. So I get another Nath Guide. Okay, so and then I'm going to use Olorien to spend 1 to bring in the Greenwood Archer. Okay, so the Greenwood Archer doesn't get its bonus, but I definitely am allowed to ready Galadriel. Okay, so Cold from Angmar blanks Celeborn's text box. Okay. Okay, so I just need to make 3 progress here. So I'm going to do 2, 4, 6. Okay, and if I need to, I can use Galadriel because I've already used her draw and lower my threat ability. So let's see what I get. I get a Sergi Wolf of Angmar. So we'll look at this card. So the Wolf of Angmar is just a kind of a wimpy creature, but it does attack for 4 at night, and it is night. The problem is it has Surge. So let's see what it surges into. And then it surges into the side quest where characters can't be healed. Bummer. And then that surges into the White Wolf. And the White Wolf, or the White Warg, after the White Warg engages you, deal 1 damage to a character you control, 2 instead if it is night. Okay, so I have the White Warg and the Wolf of Angmar, the side quest up here. For now, I'm going to make this the side the quest. Actually, I'm going to make this. I'm going to keep making this the quest because if I get another Cold from Angmar, I want this guy to be the target of it. So there's 3 in the staging area. I quested for 6, so I was able to make progress to clear this location. Okay, nothing to travel to, so I have to engage both of these guys. I have 30 as my threat right now. Let's do shadow cards then. Okay, because it's night, this guy I get 2 damage somewhere. So that 2 damage is going to go to Thranduil. I'm not worried because he has 6 hit points because of the ancestral armor. But I will defend with Thranduil. I'll defend the Wolf of Angmar. No shadow effect, no damage. And then I'm going to exhaust the Elven King to ready him. And that means I get to bring somebody back up into my hand. And I think I'm going to bring, let's see, it's Nightfall. I think I'm going to bring the Handmaiden back up into my hand because I can lower my threat. And I can quest for a little more. Actually, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay. I'm probably going to go to this side quest, next questing phase, but we'll see what happens. Okay, but let's see. So I'll defend again with Thranduil. This guy's attacking for 2. No shadow effect. Okay. And so now I need to be able to do some damage. So let's see. 5, 7 kills this guy. Okay. So refresh. Okay, so it becomes Daybreak. This guy goes back to the staging area, so he's got 1. And I have to raise my threat by 1. And I will draw a card. And I get a Tree People. Ooh, that's super nice. Give myself some resources. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to use the Tree People to bring a Nath Guide back into my hand. Let's look at what the Tree People does here. So all I have to do is bring a Sylvan back into my hand. This is one of those awesome 0-cost events, and I get to look through the top 5 to put an ally into play. So my hope is to find an ally that's a little bit beefier than the Nath Guide, but we'll see what happens. Okay, and you only can play 1 copy of Tree People per phase. You can't do 3 tree peoples in one phase. Okay, so let's see what I get. Oh, so I have lots of good choices. I have Haldir of Lorien, Legolas, and the Marksman of Lorien. But I think it's safe to say that I'm going to pick Legolas here. So Legolas is ranged. Again, not a huge deal right now, but after Legolas participates in an attack that destroys an enemy, draw 1 card. So he's awesome card draw and tactics. Doesn't have to go in a Sylvan deck, but this is the reason why I have him in here, because I like to draw cards. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the 1 here. Lower the cost to play the next Sylvan, which in this case, I will bring in the Handmaiden, and I won't lower my threat, just because I don't think I raised it. But who knows? So that's 1 here. And then I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to play 2 here to put Unexpected Courage on Galadriel. So what that allows me to do is to exhaust her, but then ready her with Unexpected Courage. So I get to draw a card and lower. I get to draw a card and lower my threat. And I get the Sylvan Tracker, and that's the card that I want to see, because this is my healing. Okay, so I'm gonna wait to play this during the combat phase, and that's really what I want. Okay, so look, I'll be able to quest with him, but just for 1. So that's 1. And then this 3, and then 5, 6, 10. There's only 1 in the staging area. There's no active location. So I'm hoping that's enough to get through this. If not, I can use Galadriel to boost. Okay, so I don't have, it's Doom 2, which is fine. So let's look and see what this guy does. So Freezing Blast is Doom 2, which I already did. It says removed each damaged character from the quest. Now, the only damaged character that I have on the quest right now is Celeborn, but that removes 4 from the quest. Okay, so and I can't do anything about it. I can't cancel it. So I already moved this back to 6. So I am going to have to use Galadriel and Nenya to add 5. So that's 11. So I do 1, and then I do 10 here. So this goes into the victory display, which you can just barely see. Gandalf kind of looks into the victory display here. But that allows me to heal 3. So I'm going to heal this 3. Okay, so I can't, these don't make engagement checks, but I get to engage this guy. I deal it a shadow card. He's just attacking for 2. Just 2, I say. I will use Thranduil. And before that happens, I'm going to pay 3. I'm going to bring in the Sylvan Tracker. Okay, so let's see. 2. Fend Off Despair. I wanted that side quest. Well, there's more opportunity. Okay, so Fend Off Despair. No shadow. So attack for 3, 4, 5, enough to kill this guy. I get to draw a card. I get the Steward of Gondor, which is great. Okay, and now I'm ready. Flip this to Nightfall, raise my threat by 2. Okay, and then I turn over a card, and I get another Biting Wind. Again, this is a questing treachery, doesn't do anything right now and during the refresh phase, or at the end of the round. I've already raised my threat, so I'll give resources, draw a card. And I get the Weaver. So I bet you she's going to come out. So let's take a look and see what the Weaver does. Okay, so the Weaver, the downfall of the Weaver is that it can't attack or defend. But when it enters play, I take the top card of my discard pile and shuffle it into my deck, which is nice because right now, the top card of my discard pile is the Tree People. So any opportunity I have to get more Tree People, the better. Okay, so I'll put her into play. Okay, before I put her into play, just in case, I want to use Galadriel's ability to lower my threat and draw a card. And I get Island Amid Perils, which is great. Oh, when I ready a Sylvan, I get to heal because of the Sylvan Tracker. Okay. So, first things first, I'm going to put the Steward of Gondor into play. Then I'm going to exhaust the Steward of Gondor to put 2 onto Celeborn. I'm going to spend 1 to bring in the Weaver. And I'm going to use Olorien to reduce the cost of my next by 1, which is the Neath Guide. And so this guy is, so now I'm doing good. Now, I don't know if it was, probably should have waited to bring out the Neath Guide, but I don't know. Either way, I'm questing for 4. I'm going to just say I'm questing for 4 because I don't have anything in the staging area and I can't put any progress on the quest. So next round, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it well. Okay, so let's see. What do we got here? Okay, Sudden Darkness. This doesn't look good. So it says when revealed, if it is night, which it is, raise each player's threat by 4. If it is day, flip the time objective to nightfall. Okay, so that's a pain in the neck. So I have to raise my threat by 4. I can't cancel it because it's night. So that puts my threat up to 37. Maybe 36, but probably 37. Okay, so Sudden Darkness here. I don't have anything in the staging area. I can't exhaust Thranduil for nothing. I'm just going to end the turn, I guess. There's nothing else to do. I will raise my threat by 1 and flip the objective. This is good. So I think now's the time to get through this. Okay, I will draw a card. I get Orphan, get some resources. Okay, so I will do my normal thing here. Exhaust Olorien to reduce the cost of the Neath Guide by 1. And then I will play Orphan for 3. Orphan allows me to bring back a character that's been destroyed, but I don't have anything in my discard pile. So Orphan's just questing for 2 and attacking for 2. I will lower my threat and draw another card here. So, and now I get my Test of Will. That's what I want. I think this comes off. I think that's what I get. Okay, so I just need to make, let's see, I have 13, so I need to make 7 progress. So this is 5, or this is 3, 5, 6. I'll do 10 right now. When the Nath Guide came into play, I'll pick. So that's 14 right now, I guess. 14. Questing for 14. And I get another cold from Angmar. Okay. So I do a damage to a hero. And he loses his text box, which is fine. I think I actually may have brought the Sylvan Tracker out with his text box blank. If I did, I would have had to wait, but so far I haven't been. Hasn't been a problem, I don't think. Okay, but I make all sorts of progress, so these get discarded, and now I'm on to stage 2A. Okay, so it says shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. Discard cards until you get a warg. Okay, so the warg that I get is this one. Now this is an okay warg to get because I don't have to worry about the surgy thing that this warg would do, because it only gets added to the staging area. Okay, so that's good. And so now 2B, Howling at Night, says when it becomes day, each player draws 1 card, and then when it becomes night, discard 1 non-objective ally from play. Discard 2 if there's 3 or more players. We don't have to worry about that. So here's the white warg. Or, sorry, not the white warg. This is the Wolf of Angmar. Okay, so he'll engage. I'll deal it a shadow card. I will defend with Thranduil. So here's the thing. The Sylvan Tracker, I could have played with it. I could have waited until now to play the Sylvan Tracker. So I don't think that that is a game-altering issue if I forgot that this guy didn't have his ability. Okay, so let's see. So I'm defending for 6 here. So it gets +1, so that's 3. So no damage here. So I'm going to attack for 3, 6. I'm going to kill this guy. So Legolas allows me to draw a card. I get another Greenwood Archer. Okay, so end of round, I get to ready. I'm just going to leave the Steward of Gondor exhausted because I'm going to want the stuff. Okay, so now the Sylvan Tracker. Look, I won't even take damage off of Thranduil right now because I probably did that incorrectly. But it's the end of the round. I'll raise my threat. I have to discard somebody, so I'll discard this guy. Actually, you know what I'll do is I'll discard this guy. Okay, I get to ready all these guys here. Okay. So I want to make sure I get through this as quickly as possible. It does become nightfall, so I have to reveal an encounter card. Okay, it says if it is night, each player raises his threat by 4. Okay. I can't cancel that. So that is rough. I'm at 32 or 42 threat. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play Island Amid Perils. I'm going to bring Orphan back into my hand and lower my threat by 3. So at least I'm at 39 threat. So now we draw a card. I get another Test of Will. It's a good time to see that. I'm going to lower my threat and draw a card. I guess I should give myself resources. Okay, so now I get Galleon, which is great. So I'll bring Galleon into play. I will lower the cost to play Orphan by 1. So Orphan goes down to 2, and then I can bring the Nath Guide back into my hand, and then I can spend 2 on the Nath Guide. Actually, you know what? I'm going to wait to do that. It doesn't matter. So I'll spend 2 on the Nath Guide. Okay, so I have 39 threat. I get to quest. I have nothing in the staging area, completely clear, no active location. So, and I can do 2, 4, 7. I can do 7 without even trying. Okay, so I will do 7, and in the staging area is 0. So what do we get? We get a rugged country. So that's 2. So I make 5. There's nothing to put 5 in. Oh, I guess I should remove this progress from my previous questing. So I will travel. End of round. I will ready. I'll just leave the steward exhausted. I'll leave this exhausted too. I'll raise my threat by 1. And I will turn this over to Daybreak. I get to draw a card. And I get Quicker Than Sight, which cancels a shadow effect. Now I get to do some input resources. And I get to draw a card. I get a Galathra Minstrel, which is great. And then I'm going to use Galadriel to lower my threat. And to draw another card. And I get Tree People. Okie doke. So I will Tree People. I'll bring Galleon back into my hand. I guess I will bring out the Marksman of Lorien. I'll bring Galleon back out. I will exhaust Lorien. Spend 1. Nenya gives Galadriel a lore resource icon, so I can bring out the Minstrel. I get to use Feigned Voices, which cancels an attack. So at some point, I need to play Determination. I just need to quest. Okay. So 2, 4, 5, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 16, 19, 21, and there's 0 in the staging area. I want to get through this right now. So there's 18, so we'll see what happens. Predatory wolves, so I have to go find something. So I'm going to go find the northern wargs. I could cancel that. Actually, you know what? I am going to cancel that. I would much rather cancel it than deal with having an extra warg in the staging area. So, Test of Will. Spend the 1. Okay, so I made 21. And there's 0. So that's 3. Plus 15 is 18. So, done. So let's look at 3A. So Battle with the Pack. It says flip the time objective to nightfall. Okay, so I have to do this step by step. So when I flip the objective to nightfall, I have to reveal an encounter card. Okay, which ends up being the Shrouded Hills. Okay. And there's only 1 quest card in play, so that gains Surge. And so now I get the Bloodthirsty Warg, which is, it says, forced when it becomes night, Bloodthirsty Warg engages the first player, makes an immediate attack. It's already night, so this guy stays in the staging area, which is whatever. Okay, so that part is done. It says add pack leader to the staging area. So the pack leader says cannot have attachments, cannot be optionally engaged. It says after pack leader engages you, exhaust a character you control for each warg enemy engaged with you. So that's going to be fun. And then it says discard cards from the encounter deck until X warg enemies are discarded. X is one less than the number of players in the game. Add each, so I don't have to do that part. Okay, pack leader cannot take damage unless there are at least 5 progress tokens on this stage. So I actually have to make progress first. So this is going to be weird. So I have to take a swing from the pack leader, and then it has to go back to the staging area. I have to put progress on this quest, and then I have to re-engage it during nightfall. So it's going to take like a couple rounds to do this. Okay, so it is nightfall. Okay, so I'm going to travel, and then I'm going to engage these 2 guys. Okay, I have to actually. No choice. And so I'll deal shadow cards. Okay, so I have to exhaust a character I control for each warg enemy engaged with me. So I have to exhaust 2 characters. So that's going to be 1, 2. And I can't do much, actually. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the Elven King to ready Thranduil. And now I will exhaust Thranduil to defend the pack leader for 5. So the pack leader, I'm defending for 6 right now, and I still have 3 more hit points to take. So it says attacking is +1 for each damaged character. So I get +2 here. So Thranduil only takes 1 damage from that. I can't cancel that shadow effect. Okay. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 1 here. I'm going to play Determination on Thranduil. So he is able to ready. I'm running out of room here, so I'm just going to put it on the pile. Okay. And now I'm going to defend the Bloodthirsty Wargs with Thranduil. Thranduil is, again, defending for 6. Side quest. That's a perfect place to see a side quest. Okay. So now I can't touch this guy, but I can, let's see, I can get up to 7. 3, 6, 9. Whole bunch. Okay. So the Bloodthirsty Wargs are dead. That's fine. Okay, because I used Legolas, I get to draw a card. I get the Tree People. That's fun. So I'm going to take the Galathrim Weaver into my hand, and I'm going to play the Tree People. And then I'm going to bring out Rumil. Now, Rumil doesn't do... Oh, this guy is... Oh, but he cannot take damage until that happens. But that's okay. I'm glad to have Rumil out because I have things that I can do with him. Okay, so I will ready everybody. So now I get to discard this damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will raise my threat. Draw a card. I get the other Sylvan Tracker, which is nice. Okay, so now I'm going to lower my threat. Draw a card using Galadriel's ability. So I get another Unexpected Courage, which is phenomenal. Okay, so I think I'm in a really good position here. Oh, it became daybreak. So I want to put progress. I want to be able to do that. First things first. Galleon comes into play. Next thing, I'm going to do 1, then I'm going to take and put the Weaver into hand. That takes the tree people and shuffles this back into my deck here. And now I think I'm going to put out another Greenwood Archer here for 2. Actually just 1, Elorian. And then just to make sure, I'm going to play Island Amid Perils and bring Rumel back into my hand and lower my threat by 5. Or by 4. So I'm down to 35. That gives me a little breathing room. Okay, so let's see. This guy comes back in the staging area. So I have 4 in the staging area. I have to make 5 and 5, so I have 14 to do. So let's see. This guy came out, so that's 1, 5. Okay. So it's 5, 8, 12, 13, 14, 16, 19. Okay, so let's see what we get. And we get the White Warg. Deal 1 damage to a character. Okay, so that's 2. So that's 6 versus 19, so that's 13. So that's 5. And I make 8 on the quest here. Okay, so I will engage this person. Deal it a shadow card. And because I can, I'm just going to bring Rumel into play here. Actually, just to make sure that I do this right. First thing I'm going to do is combat action. I'm going to bring this guy out. 1, 2, 3. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. And now I will defend here, and I can cancel the shadow effect. So this guy's attacking for 2. I have to deal 1 damage to somebody. So I will deal 1 damage to Celeborn. And let's see. So again, defending for 6 and has 3 extra hit points. No shadow. No damage. And now I will do 3, 6 to this guy and kill it. Okay, and again, because I used Legolas, I get to draw a card. I get Hennemarth. Okay, so now we ready. I ready here, remove 2 damage. Ready here. I remove 1 damage. Everything's ready. I turn this over to Nightfall. I raise my threat by 1. I draw a card. All right, so this is the Eriador Wastes. Eriador Wastes is a 3-threat 5 at quest point location, and it just says that no more than 5 progress can be placed on the current quest each round, which I'm fine with. I don't need to make any more progress on a quest, and in order to travel, I have to engage a warg enemy in the staging area, and I would deal it a shadow card. All of that is fine. It's night. There's 7 in the staging area. I can't put any progress on the main quest, but that's fine. So now I get to give myself resources and draw a card. Another copy of Nenya doesn't help me. I will lower my threat and Draw a card for Galadriel's ability, and I get a Weaver, or a Minstrel. Okay, I'm going to put a Minstrel down. The only event I have is Quicker Than Sight, which cancels a shadow card, but I can't do anything because of this with that. Okay, so that spent 1. Now I'll spend another 1 to put Henemarth down, and I will exhaust Henemarth to look at the top card, and that's a 4 threat Wargden. Again, not horrible. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the Host of the Galathrim, just because I can. And now this becomes kind of a win more card, but basically what this does is it gathers up all of these guys, puts them all in my hand, and then I get to play them out one at a time. So the first thing I'll do is put out Orifin here, and I'll look. I don't have anybody in my I don't have any allies in my discard pile. Okay, these 2 guys come out. It's whatever. This guy comes out. These 2 guys come out. I don't have anybody to ready. These guys come out. And I'm going to target this guy. He can still be targeted, so that's good. And then I have 1, 2, 3 Nath Guides. So I'm going to target 1, 2, 3 heroes. I'm going to bring out the Handmaidens, lower my threat by 2. Bring out Galleon. Bring out Legolas. Bring out the Weaver. And then bring out this Minstrel. I'll get a Faint Voices. You never know what kind of enemies I'm going to have to engage. And then I'll bring out the second Weaver. And with the second Weaver, I'll bring out a Tree People. And now I will Tree People Galleon back into my hand and look for some sort of person to bring out. So I guess I'll bring out the other Handmaiden here. So that lowers my threat by another 1. And then I can replay Galleon. Life is good. And when I quest, I don't have to exhaust anybody except for Amarthiel if I wanted to use him. But let's see here. So questing 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Plus 9 is 25. 27. 30, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. 38, 41, 43. Okay, so this is 30, so 43. Okay, and I'm going to have to quest. Over 11. Okay, so there we go. Okay, and now just to make sure that everything works out okay, I am going to travel, and then this guy has to engage me. Yeah, whatever. I don't think it matters. And then I get to deal it a shadow card. So I'll exhaust a character, boink. And now I'll play Feigned Voices. Bring Galleon back up into my hand. Cancel this attack. And just absolutely murder the pack leader. Let's see, 4, 7, has no defense. That's the first thing. 4, 7, 11, 15, 18, 21, 23. I don't know, a whole bunch. This guy dies. Okay, good. So I think that was a pretty clean playthrough. So let's look at the campaign resolution. So we take that side quest, Fend Off Despair, and add it to the campaign pool. It's a shame I earned it in one of my other plays, but I didn't earn it in this one, so I don't get the bonus that it gives. So I guess I'm just going to deal with it. So it looks like I just trounced in the final round the Wastes of Eriador. Now it's on to Mount Graham, I hope. Okay, everybody, have a great day.